G'day guys, my name is Jim Infinite and welcome back to another unique analysis video. And today I'm going to be looking at another two uniques for the Atlas of World expansion, and these were recently announced on the Lion Eyes Watch podcast earlier this week. These are the Brass Dome chestplate and the Kitava's Thirst Helm. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to be looking at the Brass Dome chestplate first, and oh man, Grinding Gear are summoning Xeno back into the game. I hope Xeno had a spare change of undies before he saw this one, because he likely creamed his pants. It's a fucking tank's dream. It's a fetish for the Juggernaut, and oh man, this is a big boy armor. It's got more than we've ever seen on any armor piece before. 4K armor up front, and I can already hear people screaming for Juggernaut and that unbreakable ascendancy node that gives it 2 times armor on chest armors.
And then we doubled it.
Oh man, just throw in determination and you have armor coming out of your butthole already. And you know, while armor is fine and dandy, the next mod is probably way more interesting, and it's a game changer. It is, you take no extra damage from critical strikes. That is fucking insane. And that's going to also help with elemental and spell damage, which can crit, of course. So then that means that from now on, there's going to be no more whinging about bullshit deaths to spiky crit damage. People are just going to say that you should have just had a Brass Dome. You know, even though Juggernaut does synergize well with this, I think I sort of question whether it's overkill to be taking this with the Juggernaut. You're already getting max endurance charges and insane physical mitigation, so I don't know whether you need it. I think it's likely that other ascendancies will benefit from this chest more. You know, Berserker, stuff like that, Slayer, other ascendancies that, you know, are armor based. And this chest armor is going to be competitive for a rare chest armor or like a astral plate or something like that. Any armor user is going to benefit from it greatly, and it really does give a well-rolled rare a run for its money. You know, hell, you could even throw it on an evasion character or even an acrobatics character, and you're going to get 2k armor even with that armor halved. So that's pretty amazing when you think about it. Now, this crazy upsides are negated by a bit of a downside, and that is 30% reduced block chance. And that's a pretty big one. It almost begs you to be using a two-hander, and you know, maybe this unique's designed around the idea of being a two-handed character and having high physical mitigation with, say, like the Juggernaut and AK 8k armor, which is pretty crazy. I like that, but I think some people just can't give up the idea of trying to use block with this, and they can't let go the idea of using the reckless defense duel, which seemingly synergizes well, and you can do it. I think it's possible. If you don't know what that does, it increases your chance to be crit by 10%, which doesn't matter because you don't get extra damage done to you by it. It also gives you, like a well-rolled one, gives you extra 4% block chance and 20% of that block chance applied to spells. So yeah, if you can get 108 block chance with these and, you know, stacking block chance in general, you can get yourself to block cap, but fuck that. I just don't think it's really worth it at all. There's too much investment and you're just going to nerf yourself, gimp yourself. You won't have any DPS because you'll just be too focused on block and trying to be a tank. You may be tanky, but who cares? You know, it sucks. The next downfall of this item is 10% reduced movement speed. So what? Being slow sucks in general in this clear speed meta that we have right now, but it's probably not the end of the world. 10% can be made up elsewhere, so fuck it, you're tanky as hell. It doesn't really matter in the slightest. The next downside is 50% increased shock duration on you. And that won't matter too much either, because you aren't getting crit for any extra damage, which means no crit multi. The shock won't be a long duration anyway, because it may not even shock you as well. You need to be hit for 5% of your max health, which isn't likely to happen off a crit and off a shock. So all in all, if you don't fall into the block like reckless defense duel idea, which in my mind is a trap, there aren't too many downsides of this armor. It's a chest that will compete with a well-rolled rare armor or well-rolled astral plate And in comparison to that, it's going to have godly armor and you take no extra damage from critical strikes, which is amazing. You can use it on a Juggernaut, but I think other ascendancies can make good use of it too, and I'm sure this will see a lot of use in Atlas of Worlds. The second unique for today is Kitava's Thirst, the new helm, and people have been calling this one a cast-on-cast helm, the new cock, and it's a pretty apt name. I'm just gonna straight up skip all the boring mods on this one. I mean, they do have some sort of significance, but it's a pretty low level helm, and the most interesting mod on this one is the 30% chance to cast socketed spells when you use a skill that costs at least 100 mana. Now, this one actually needs a bit of clarification. You cannot use this with Soul Taker, Blood Magic, or the Trickster Ascendancy node, Walk the Aether. I believe the text is going to be amended to 30% chance to cast socketed spells when you spend at least 100 mana to use a skill. And I think the important thing to note here is the spend at least 100 mana, because you need to be spending that mana. Soul Taker wouldn't work if you're under 100 mana because you need to be spending it. Likewise, Blood Magic spends life, so it doesn't count. And Trickster makes mana cost none, so again, you aren't spending that 100 mana. It's not going to work with any of these combos, but you can use it on any other skill. You can use Voidbringer or Fevered Mind Jewel to increase the cost of the skill, or increase the mana cost if it's below 100 mana to get that proc effect. But apart from that 100 mana limitation, it's going to work on anything. So this could be a cast on crit alternative or a discharge enabler, but you can only put 4 gems in the helm, and that's pretty much a limitation, I guess. Since it's a % chance to use on a skill, you want to be using a fast casting, fast attacking skill, and the helm has a reduced cast speed modifier on it, so you probably want to be using a quick attacking skill, and you want that one that can be spammed quickly. Just get it out as much as you can at any time. And the interesting thing about this is you don't need to hit with this, you just need to be using the skill. So incoming no mechanical skill builds, they're going to be happening, so just spam it anywhere and you'll be doing damage. The breadth of builds that you can do with this is pretty sick. I don't think it's going to be the new cock or discharge enabler, but it's a bit more limited, and I think it's really cool for sort of added utility, quality of life things, and I think we'll see a lot of that where this helm's going to get used. You can use a helm to do a ton of things: detonate mines, apply curses, summon your golem, cast contagion, as a support, use your minion offerings, activate Immortal Call, and many more. So it's a helm with a lot of potential, and I'm interested to see what you're going to do with it. So let me know what you're going to make of it and how you would build around it. Guys, that wraps up today's unique analysis video of the Brass Dome chestplate and the Kitava's Thirst helm. Don't forget to subscribe for more PoE content. As I head into Atlas of Worlds, I'm going to be putting out as much content as I can. Let me know if there's any suggestions for sort of video types that you want. I'm thinking of doing guides and more informative videos. I also do playthroughs of other games. They're pretty casual, sort of let's play format, and you can check them out. That's it for today, guys. My name is Jimmy Infinite, and I will see you in the next video.